Peace and blessings. Namaste to all light warriors, workers, and everything in between. It is I, Sophie, today, and we're still in Scorpio season, and I'm still excited about it. I am so excited about it because this is the time when we really get to deep reflect. We get to purge those nasty energies and stuff like that from us, okay? We're also under divine judgment and evaluation, but it's not going to be as good for those who didn't do too well. But don't worry about it right now because you still have time to get this under control. You have the end of Scorpio season to clean yourself out. And that is the theme of the message today. I want to help you get out of the judgmental phase and start to identify and accept people for exactly who they are. Because once you have the ability to do this, you're no longer disappointed, okay? And it gives you a sense of peace, all right? So let's go into this. I had a cousin when I was growing up that lied all the time for no reason. You ever meet people like that? They just lie. Just lie over the smallest things. Hey, you know, is this yours? Yeah. When'd you buy it? Mm-hmm. You know, anything like that. There's people that are like that, and they just lie compulsively for no reason. I don't know what kind of spirit they got going on, but I can tell you that every time my cousin would get caught in a lie, the whole family or, you know, whoever he was lying to they would be mad at each other. They would fight with each other. They would go and call each other on the phone. Do you know what such and such said and what such and such did? And then he'd be, you know, outcast for a little bit, and then we'd bring him back in, and then the pattern repeated. To me, that was insanity. What is the purpose, okay? When I say learn to accept people for who they are, if you know somebody is a liar, expect them to lie. Do you understand? Only get shocked if they actually tell you the truth. Therefore, if they are lying, it's not going to bother you. I would sit with my cousin for hours and listen to all types of made up stories, and it was just entertaining. And it never mattered to me because I accepted the fact that this man's a liar. And his cleansing and all of that stuff that he had to go through was between him and God. You know what I mean? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, right? So if they're constantly lying, automatically assume that they're not going to tell you the truth. And therefore, when you find out that they lied, your life is unbothered. It's very, very simple. We create our own heavens and hells based off of our perspectives and our perceptions of things, all right? Learn to just accept people where they are in their walk of life and don't expect anything better, all right? And then you'll be okay. You'll be okay. And when they do show you something better, that's when you give them all of the praise and the love that they need to keep them inspired to keep moving up like that. You see what I mean? Another thing like that is alcoholism, all right? I don't know, or I have not ran across one family in all of my journeys that didn't have at least one alcoholic in it, okay? Sometimes 2 or 3. But I'll tell you, if you do have a family that has no alcoholics, oh my God, you're blessed. Because growing up with them is a mess, all right? But when you learn to accept that fact, okay, you can talk to them, yeah. You can go through interventions, yeah. But the person will never stop drinking until they want to stop drinking. Do you understand? So there's no point in turning your back on them and walking away from them and looking at them like they're disgusting. They need help, right? So what do we do with alcoholics? We accept that they're an alcoholic. Expect them when they come over the house that they're going to get drunk. So therefore, you're not mad when this happens, okay? Drunk proof your house. Okay, if this is one of those people that knocks over stuff and slumbers all over the place, automatically get yourself a cot. You know they're crashing. And drunk proof your house. Okay, as long as they're not hurting themselves or nobody, what can you do? Okay, love them. You still love them, but you're not disappointed. You're not angry. when they do these things. When you start learning how to actually just accept that this person might be a liar, this person might be a drunk, this person might be a whore, okay? Or a loose woman, or whatever it is that you want. Ladies, we all had that one friend that you didn't want to keep your man around. You know what I mean? Okay? You were still her friend. You still loved her, but you knew what she was, all right? You knew what she was. So it didn't bother you when she got into whole stuff, all right? You call her on the phone. Hey, where'd you go last night? I spent the night over such and such house. Okay, do you need a ride? Do you need a ride? No, I'm good. Okay, fine. You want people to change and evolve, right? But no changes or evolution comes unless that person or that individual wants that same change and evolution. So all you can do is sit back and be a support during this time and just give them love and hope and just speak life into the situation until it changes. But there is no point in just being angry at people for being who they are, okay? Most of the time, when somebody has all of these issues, there's something deeper psychologically going on, okay? Or it's emotional, okay? Sometimes it's even spiritual, yeah. The spiritual portion, we can help a lot easier than the emotional and the mental help, you know. That suffering is a little bit harder to deal with. I will also say this, all right? Yeshua taught us, it is not what goes in that defiles a man, but what comes out. And what he was teaching during this time was that anything behavior-wise, character-wise, is coming from within. Okay, so it's not something that's going to change your nature. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because we can actually use somebody's disadvantage for their greater good. Now, that might be confusing to you, but I'm going to take the case of the alcoholic and I'm going to give you an example on what it is that I'm talking about, okay? So you have somebody in your house that drinks. Or you know a whole bunch of people that just drinks and drinks and drinks and drinks. You need to pay attention to the behavior once they're drinking, okay? Because wine is nothing but fermented grapes, okay? And done in moderation can be very healthy for the belly, okay? Yeah, red wine was considered very healthy for the blood and the belly. All right? But it's when we start to do things in excess that becomes a problem. Now, I'm not a drinker, okay? But I don't mind enjoying a glass of Merlot and a nice hot bubble bath with some scented candles if I'm ready to go into relaxation mode. I had a long day. You know what I mean? I might do that. But for those who are around people who drink, I need you to pay attention to the behavior, because what you need to do, especially if you're a divine feminine or a light worker or a light warrior, is this will give you the ability to actually discern what's really going on with them emotionally, okay? So you have some people that drink and get violent. Nobody likes an angry drunk, right? They drink, they get violent, they're cursive, they're abusive, and all of that stuff. Did the wine cause that? No. Alcohol is an uninhibitor. So what it does is it releases whatever it is that is hidden is now being exposed. That's why that term, a drunk always speaks a sober mind, is so profound and so true. You want to know what's going on in the mind of somebody, that what they really think about you? Ask them when they drunk. You might not like it, what you hear, okay? But they will tell you. So what I'm saying with all of this is, okay, so if you got a drunk that becomes violent and angry, he's got an issue. He's got some unresolved drama or trauma in his life, and he wants to lash out. And this is something that is buried deep in, but it only comes out when they drink. And when they drink, boom, now the spirit is exposed. All right. Also, another one that you can do, some of them that drink get very horny. Yeah, very horny, right? And you're sitting there looking at them and they just sizing you up and undressing you every way they want. They rubbing all over you. They're trying to get you back to the place so they can do something to you. Something that you may or may not enjoy. But the case of the point is, that's that person's nature that has been hidden. And when he started drinking, it opened up and he came out. All right. Now, you also have those that might drink and go into the woe is me's and just be crying. We call them slobbering drunks. They just cry and cry and cry and cry, and everything is wrong with the world. And they want you to listen to them. And you do sit there and you listen to them. And what you're finding out is this person really is suffering from depression and they're hiding it. But when they start consuming the alcohol, boom, it makes it come out, right? Spirits is what they call it, all right? So you got that as well. Then you also got those, and this is the category that I fell in my younger days, who would drink and just be jovial and all over everybody, hugging and loving and giving up. There were times that I would go to karaoke with my friends, maybe even by myself. You know, I travel by myself a lot, so it doesn't bother me. So I would go to, you know, these places and stuff like that by myself and have a good time. And the next day, I would have like 7 to 10 text messages from people I don't remember, to be honest with you. And they're texting me and they're like, oh my God, you were so fun. Are we still on for tonight? Are we going to go here for this evening? Where are you going? Hey, I want to hang out again. That, you know, the women, mostly women, some men in there sprinkled around, you know, because I would go out and I would have a good time and I would make connections. You know, I never was angry. I never was lustful. I never was wrathful. I never was a crier, because that wasn't what was in my spirit. Okay? But I'm not going to say that I'm perfect. So there was a time in my 20s where I did drink and I started feeling frisky. And when I started feeling frisky, I took my tail out. I took my tail home. Okay? Because a frisky, drinking, 20-year-old Scorpio in a room for bachelors, that doesn't work out too well. So I took my tail home. All right. But the lesson that I'm trying to teach you during this time is pay attention to the alcoholics in your family. Pay attention what they say, how they act after they are drinking. And then discern the areas in their life that needs healing. Anger, lust, depression, okay? Abandonment issues. All of that will come out when somebody's drinking. All of it will. Because it's not the alcohol that changes the character, dear. It's the alcohol that unleashes it. All right? You can't blame alcohol if you end up in a bar and then in the middle of the night you end up in a stranger's bed. Okay? That is something that you have to deal with inwardly. Unless you were just too out of your mind and you didn't realize what was happening. Now that can happen too. But for most part, we make conscious decisions. Okay? Whatever you start to feel during that time should be a warning to you that it might be time for you to go home. It might be time for you to go home and the party's over. Do you understand? When we accept people for who they are, our lives are so much easier. And we don't have a whole bunch of karma, because you realize that with that drunk person, there's something that is hurting them and they're in pain. And so all you want to do is when they get sober, it's like, come here. I want to talk to you for a second. Can we talk? You know what I mean? And have them come over and talk to you and just ask them, what is going on? What is going on? Because this, that, and the third. And if you're a healer, get to work. So you can use people's faults, okay? Instead of using it against them, learn how to use it for them, okay? Let them expose what is really going on. Witness it, discern it, yeah? And then see if they want help with it. And if they want help with it, then you do it. But stop getting angry at people. Stop getting angry at people. It's not even worth your time. If it's something that you cannot tolerate, then get it out of your space. Okay? Then just don't be around it. But don't be angry. It's a waste of time. Okay? Keep yourself under control. And love those who are hurting. Those are the ones that need it the most. Who taught you that? I am Sophie, and I love you all.